In this video, we're going to be exploring the sounds we can get out of the Warm Audio Wa73 EQ Preamp and their Wa2A Compressor using just one single microphone and my Yamaha drums. Hi, I'm Ed from edthorne.com, here to help you make the most out of your home studio. Warm Audio are an American brand who over the last decade have successfully established themselves as manufacturers of high-end pro audio recording studio equipment, including microphones, compressors, preamps and equalizers. I've recently installed their Wa73 EQ Preamp and their Wa2A Compressor in my studio, and I'm really enjoying recording through them. Make sure you hit subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss next week's episode where I'm going to show you how to set these two units up in your studio and how to use them to record vocals. The Wa73 is a handmade Class A 73 style preamp, which features British-made Carnhill transformers, military-spec Bloor-Edwards dual concentric EQ switch potentiometers, and a whopping 80 decibels of gain. These are really impressive units, and Warm Audio have not cut any corners producing these. The Wa2A is a 2A style high voltage opto compressor using balanced Cinemag transformers, kinetic opto cells, and 4 premium tongue, sol and electro harmonics vacuum tubes. By all accounts, these parts are highly regarded in the industry, and so far I'm really impressed with the sound. Alright, so I've got my drums out of the shed. I've got my Yamaha hybrid maple kit here, which sounds amazing. I haven't tuned it, I've literally pulled it out of the shed. I haven't even touched this kit in about 4 months since my last gig before lockdown. So we've got my JZ V67 condenser mic set up here. I've put it head height so you're gonna hear pretty much what I'm hearing. I've got a little phone camera here to monitor what I'm doing with the Warm Audio gear. I'm going to play some loops, tweak the EQ as I go, and to start with, it's just going through the preamp, no EQ. All right, now I'm not going to bother with a high pass filter, but to engage the EQ, I need to push the EQ button on. And I'm going to play with the low pass shelf here. Now 35 is a bit low, you're definitely not going to hear that through a phone or earbud headphones. And 60 is kind of where I want some body, so I'm going to dial in some 60. Then on the mids, ideally with the kit, I would filter out around 500 Hertz. That's the frequency range that resonates to my distaste personally. On this unit, I can do 360 or 700, so I'm going to choose 700. And the tops, let's put a shelf above 10K. All right, so as you can see, these are quite extreme cuts for example purposes. All right, I'm not quite sure that's the right frequency for 700, but let's just, for example purposes, try putting that in. So the next thing to do is to impose the tone button. The tone button switches the transformer impedance from 300 ohms to 1200 ohms, which colors the signal with some lovely warm thickening tones as you're about to hear. The level of compression in limit mode is close to an infinity ratio. Compared to in compression mode, it seems to ramp up the more signal you feed into the compressor, rather than it being a fixed ratio. The attack is set to 10 milliseconds, and the release seems to vary depending on peak reduction. All right, now engaging the compressor using the insert, I've got the gain at about 20. This is where I've been playing with it with vocals, so I don't know how this is going to work on the kit. So to engage the compressor and compensating for the extra gain, I need to take back the output volume here, and then I'll play with one hand and just slowly bring in the compression. All right, I quite like that with a peak reduction at about 60. Again, I'm slightly exaggerating this for demonstration purposes. Now, the next thing we need to do is to reduce the output, crank the gain, and really start engaging the tubes in the opto compressor. When I've been singing, having the output gain at about 50 to 60 has really started to bring in that tube sound and ruin my voice even more. Oh, that's destroying the signal. That is nice. I like that. So the compression in the chain there is coming after the preamp, but before the EQ. So if I wanted to put the compressor after the EQ, I would need to just run a direct out of the compressor into the EQ in series, in line, and then onto my interface. But for the sake of example purposes, I wanted to use it where I've been using it with my vocals, which is as an insert in between the preamp and EQ. All right. That was fun, and it's nice to play drums again, having not played them for so many months. So 4 bars without EQ or tone. Introducing some EQ. Introducing some tone. And introducing the compressor on a light setting. And a mid setting with the compressor. And absolutely hammered. I've thoroughly enjoyed playing with these two units, even just on a single drum microphone. The preamp just has some wonderful, warm, smooth sounds, and the compressor has some exceptional tones, especially when driving the snare drum into the tubes. I really enjoyed the sound that I got out of those. I think I'm gonna reamp a snare drum part from a track that I'm working on, run it all through this system, just to experiment with some dirty, gritty tones, and I'll be sure to do a video on that when it comes out. YouTube is gonna recommend another couple of videos for you here. Alternatively, please check out my brand new website here for original music, YouTube news, or Instagram for behind the scenes footage. In the meantime, thank you for watching, stay safe, look after one another, and I'll see you all on the next one.